Will do.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Mailbox Power Mastermind call that happens every single Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Mountain, 10 Central, and 11 sort of morning Eastern time for those of you who are on the East Coast, which a few of you are on the call today. So thanks for joining us at your lunchtime hour. I appreciate it. We always like to start the week with Mailbox Power wins. So, does anybody have a Mailbox Power win they would like to share from this past week?
I sent a few things out. Hopefully I'll have a win next week.
Awesome. Well, sending stuff out is a win because what we have to remember is it's the small things that create the big results. And we need to celebrate the little wins too, because you know what? 97% of businesses don't follow up and don't
Yep.
send stuff out. So if you're sending stuff out, that's a win.
Yes.
So
I
congrats.
would guess that's how I talked to someone about some insurance things the other day because I insured his girlfriend and send her stuff on a regular basis, cards and postcards and whatever. So top of mind, and she had him call me.
Yep. Awesome. Welcome to those who just joined the call. Any other wins for last week? Mailbox Power wins.
This is
Kimberly.
Suzanne. Oh, I had an anti-win. I don't know how to describe
Anti-win.
Now, one of my classmates I didn't realize was a Jehovah's Witness, and I had been sending holiday cards and birthday cards, and I got a card from her saying, "Thank you very much. They're beautiful. However, I don't celebrate those holidays, so please don't send them anymore."
Yep.
It was kind of sad because I thought, oh well, I don't know.
It is kind of sad, but I have had in the 13 years or so that I've been doing this, I think I've run into that twice. So it doesn't happen very often, but yes. And we have to be respectful of other people's beliefs and other people's norms, for lack of better word. We all love celebrating birthdays, but they don't for some reason. So I don't know why, but that's not for me to question. It's just for me to acknowledge them and accept what they practice. Because that's what it's all about, is learning. It's the platinum rule and learning about others. And I've had a lot of people say, it'd be good when you're doing a presentation or when you add somebody to your list to find out if they have allergies, like gluten allergies and that, to send gluten-free stuff. And I don't always do that. And we do need to be cognizant of others. And most people, even if they have a gluten intolerance or are allergic to gluten, they're happy to get it, and they usually pass it on to a family member or a friend or something, a colleague. So, but yes, we should practice practice the platinum rule versus the golden rule, and that's to know what their likes and their habits and their beliefs are. So I'm sorry that it was kind of a downer and a bummer for you, Suzanne, but it's a lesson for all of us to make sure that we're asking, especially if you say, I love celebrating birthdays. If you always present it that way, I love celebrating birthdays, or if you send the birthday link and on your link, it says, I love celebrating birthdays. If you do me a favor, I'd love to celebrate your birthday. And then if they don't want you to celebrate their birthday, they won't fill it out. Kimberly, I know you had your hand up.
Oh my gosh. When you can have somebody take the photos that are on their phone and you create a memory It's unbelievable. And I've done that for some graduations where I've gotten feedback like, oh, I'm having a delivery today. And I have so me and my husband were married over 30 years, and there are 2 other couples that were also married over 30 years. We went out to have dinner, and I created a gigagram
Ah,
and cookies and brownies and and when they got the package, they were just like stunned and amazed. They were like, these photos would have always been on our phone. But when they're on the gigagram, when they're on the card themselves, it is next level to having that memory, to being able to post the photos, I mean the pictures, the cards. It's just, I just love Mailbox Power. Love it, love it, love it.
thank you for sharing, Kimberly. Yes, it is a great tool for doing that. And it's always a huge surprise. Even if people have known that you've done this for years and they get something like that, it's still a huge surprise to them because they know you do it for other people, but they don't expect you to do it for them.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And I sent one of my clients a card with her glam baby, because she just loves being a grandma. And when she got that, she called me and she goes, I would love to create something. And I said, we can absolutely talk about you getting a booklet created for the whole year for your grandson. And she was just like floored. So,
Yep. Awesome. Neil.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, for the person with the Jehovah's Witness, my wife's she has employees, and one of them is a Jehovah's Witness, and they don't celebrate anything, birthdays or anything. So what my wife thought something up, and she said, do you mind if we celebrate the anniversary or when you started working with us? And the lady says, no, I think that's okay. So she got to send something to her. So
Nice. And I always teach businesses to celebrate the business anniversary. I don't tell them to ask. Because again, it's a surprise. They don't know what day they signed up with you. And so a year later or 2 years later, when they're getting something in the mail, it's a surprise. It's an unexpected card or an unexpected card and gift. And that's what makes the difference. I have people all the time now because of I started this probably 3 years ago in my BNI, and we thank all of our visitors for coming. And they are completely blown away. And all it is unpopped popcorn in a box, but they feel special. They feel like they were recognized. They feel like they were seen at the meeting. And it makes a huge difference. I truly believe that it makes a difference in our conversion rate on our visitors also. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but there's an awful lot of them that are super impressed with it. And there's a lot of chapters here in Colorado Springs, and there's lots to choose from, but there are quite a few that will visit our chapter and go to others, and they come back and join ours. And I truly believe that that's part of it. We have an amazing, our visitor host, that does the orientation at the end of the meeting, happens to be the best because they put her on videotape and she trains the entire region. So that might have something to do with it also. But I do think it has a lot to do with the rest of us welcoming them and them getting a package. Because if only one person is kind of talking to them and recognizing them versus a bunch, it makes a difference when people feel recognized and seen. Any other Mailbox Power wins? Marie.
Not a win. I'm just going to kind of do a little follow on to what you just said. As someone who has been a guest at, I can't tell you how many BNI meetings over the years, I have never, ever felt like it really mattered to them whether I joined. You know, it was like that thing at the end where all of the people who are not members are asked to stay to hear about, you know, BNI membership. It was just like a rote, this is something I've got to get through before you leave. I've never felt any connection whatsoever. So I think what you're doing has to make a difference.
Awesome. I'm sorry you've had that experience, Marie. But yeah, I do think it makes a difference. I mean, the only way we'd know is for me to stop doing it, and I'm not going to stop doing it. So if I ever leave the chapter, they'll know whether it made a difference or not. But I can tell you that every single year it's at least 10 times the return. So I don't know that I'll ever leave, you know. It's a good investment. For me anyways. Anyone else, any wins from last week for Mailbox Power? Okay. Today I wanted to share, trying to remember the book that Mike and I were listening to yesterday on the way up. We went up to Cripple Creek to play some poker because yes, Mike and I are poker players. And so on the way up, we always listen to audiobooks when we're traveling almost anywhere, of an hour long or more trip. And I wish I could remember the name of the book, and he's not here to ask, because Lucas had a sports camp, his first sports camp. So he took the boys to that. But it was all about somebody looking at the network marketing opportunity, and he had gone to a meeting and he was having he had been invited and he was excited and he took two friends with him, and of course the two friends were very negative. It's a typical response, you know. And he was all excited. He had brought the friends along because they thought as long as that they all do it together, they'd all be successful. And he happened to remember that at his dad's memorial service, a millionaire came up to him that had been a friend of his dad's and had grown up in the same neighborhood. And it was it sounds like it wasn't a super wealthy neighborhood. It was kind of your average middle class or low class, you know, lower to middle class neighborhood. But he became a millionaire and he never knew how he made his millions. But the guy came up to him and gave him his business card and said, if you ever need anything, let me know. And it was like 3 years after that he had been to a network marketing presentation, and he said he was questioning it because the friends weren't seeing what he was seeing, and it's a pyramid thing and pyramid scheme and all of that stuff. And yes, we're not network marketing, but I truly believe we're a hybrid of network marketing and affiliate marketing. Our model, as much as it's an affiliate marketing compensation plan, I do believe that the mindset, because of the cards and gifts and needing the training in that, is more of a hybrid. And so I wanted to bring it up because after 3 years, he went to that presentation and then he reached out. He was questioning it, he talked to his wife. So he picked up the phone and called the millionaire, and said, basically, could I have some of your time? And the guy asked why, and he said, because you're the most successful person I know, and I'd like to ask you some questions. And he said, how about tomorrow? And of course, the guy worked a job, and he's like, I don't know how, yes. You know, he just said yes. You know, when opportunity knocks, open the door. Richard Branson, you know, if you don't know how to do it, figure it out. So we went and met with the guy and found out in that conversation that as they were talking, he asked about his wife and kid, you know, and all of that and what his goals were. And then he said to him, what are you looking at? And he said to him, what network marketing opportunity are you looking at? Because the guy could tell by the questions that he was asking. And he said, why? And he found out that that millionaire had made his millions in network marketing. And the exact same company that he had just been presented the opportunity by somebody else. So in the end, he ends up mentoring. He ends up signing up, and the millionaire mentors him, even though it's not his sponsor. So he told him to go back and sign up with the person. He didn't say sign up with me. He sent him back to the person that he had talked to. That's integrity. But yet he mentored him, and he talked about reading the book, or listening to the audio tapes, now CDs, audio book, Audible, whatever, of Win Friends and Influence Others. And the other one was, now I blanked. What are it's like right there on the tip of my tongue. What are the other real popular,
Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
it wasn't Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
I don't know. I'm just, just
Yeah,
popped in my
no,
head.
that's another good one, but it was
Dig your well before you.
Think and Grow Rich.
Think and
Think
Grow
and Grow
Rich.
Rich. Thank you.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that's the one. Yep, I think that's the one that it was. And so the guy started, reading and all of that, and he was invited on a yacht with millionaires. He invited him onto a yacht with all the top earners and that. And it's about mindset and being around the right people. And it just reminded me of like this mastermind call and other things, and surrounding yourself with other people that believe in you and believe in where you're going, even if you don't. And that was the key that he said, is you don't have the belief yet, but you just have to do. And he was very discouraged. He invited people to his house for a house meeting. Only one person showed up. He expected 5. And, it's just setting that expectation. But the other thing was the language. And I think this applies even to Mailbox Power, is I don't think many of you are necessarily talking about the opportunity of Mailbox Power. And, that's where the wealth is in Mailbox Power. I mean, yes, you're thinking, well, if I'm a legacy, I get 40 versus 10. But, look at Kelly Wheeler, look at Steve Angeline put a post out the other day on the affiliate. I'm pretty sure it was in the affiliate group. If it wasn't, it was in the Mailbox Power real estate group. And he said, if you are a real estate agent and you don't want to farm your neighborhood, I'll pay to farm your neighborhood, and you just pay me the 30% commission, the referral. That's how much he believes in it. And you have to believe in it that much. And imagine, again, on that audio book that we were listening to, do you want 100% of your efforts, or do you want 1% of 100 people's efforts? If you're doing it all yourself, you're running yourself ragged. And that's even with Mailbox Power. And I think, and I have at times, there's times when I'm always talking about the opportunity of Mailbox Power. And then there's other times where I fall off and I'm really not talking about it much. And it just reminded me of the opportunity that we have at hand. But the other thing he said is never use the word opportunity. I'm using that word with all of you because you're already here. Never use the word opportunity. I have something I would like to have you take a look at. The minute you start talking about opportunity, then people's defenses go up and they don't even want to hear what you have to say, because they've been pitched a bazillion different things, and this might be the perfect thing for them. But when they hear that word, their defenses are already up and you don't have a chance to talk to them. And it reminded me of Mike and I a while back when we talked about the paid for. You know, there are a lot of businesses, and I talk all the time on this call about how this should be a profit center for your business and not an expense. Well, one of the ways it can be a profit center for their business is sharing it with other businesses. Now, yes, if you are not a legacy affiliate, it is a one-tier affiliate marketing. There is no second tier. So you're going to have to take that into consideration. But the majority of us that are on this call today are legacy affiliates and do have the opportunity to earn on a second level. And I've started thinking about that, especially with grandkids and being in retirement and that. Do I want to keep being the one that's doing it all, or do I want to find just a few? If I could find 10 people like me, even 3 to 5 people just like me, if I got just 10% of what they did, wow. Like 10 people, 10%, that doubles my effort without me having to double my time and my effort. So I want to talk about that today and find out how many of you are really talking about the ability to earn income with Mailbox Power, or I'll go back to what I used to say, have a self-funded marketing program. Anybody want to share? Lulu.
I have a few people who are affiliates under me. And I have started talking to others more about just having this be self-funded. Because most people in business, that's probably about all they can handle is, sharing it with others in on their team or something like that. They're not necessarily looking to build it, but self-funding sounds attractive to them.
Yep.
So, yeah, but I've got, I think, three or 4 people under me.
Nice.
So, just through osmosis.
Yep. Well, and I know you've already had some people referring. We talked about that. It was either last week or the week before on the
Yes.
call, where you've had customers that are referring other customers. And I kind of have left it that I don't talk to people about the self-funded marketing until they start referring people.
Yeah.
Because I want them to get up and have success with the system first, because that's, once they have success, it's like anything. If you go to a BNI or a LATIP team, all the different networking in action, all the different networking groups that are out there, at first, until you have success, you're not telling everybody in the world about it. But
Right.
once you start having success with something, unless you're a salesperson, there are people out there that thrive on commission-based sales, but most people, it's once they have success. It's like in health and wellness. If somebody in health and wellness has lost weight or gotten rid of headaches or aches and pains or whatever it might be that it's helped them with, now they want to tell everybody about it. And that's the same thing with Mailbox Power, is let's give them some success. Let's get them started right. And when they start seeing success, it's like this past week. I have a fairly new customer who, his assistant is the one I always talk to. He's a real estate agent. And she reached out to me last week. And she had me look at some things, and she had me help her evaluate whether the executive or the pro is the right place for them. They had done the 90-day executive. She thought that was the right place, but she just wanted to run the numbers by me. And we did that. And executive is the right place for them. And a few days later, she reached out to me via text and she said, Brenda, is there any kind of a perk that we get if we refer people to you? And I'm like, well, yes, there is. I said, there's multiple ways we can do it. And you can do the same thing. There's multiple ways. You can be an affiliate. But this is what it set as an expectation for an affiliate. You can be an affiliate, but that would mean that you're the one that's going to talk to them. I'll help you and train you with the first few, but you're going to be the one that's the face for them. I can do the concierge and they can pay me to do the concierge in that, but because you make a huge chunk of the commission and I make a smaller chunk, I expect you to be the face and the contact for them. If that's not what you want, then I'm glad to give you a referral fee based on the level of membership they come in on. She said so she reached out to the real estate agent that she works with, and she told him, and I immediately got an introduction to another real estate agent in town that he had been to a 2 or 3 day class, real estate class, and his wheels were turning. Now, I don't know if they're going to become an affiliate or if they're just going to receive a commission from me or a referral payment from me for that. But it's interesting that it is a real estate agent here in Colorado Springs that we have been nurturing. It's somebody Mike has known from his hometown, and we have reached out to and sent multiple packages to, and they've been impressed, but they have not signed up. And now, because of somebody else, they are interested. And that also goes to all of us. For me and Mike, we are 100% Mailbox Power, and that's all we have for the most part. I mean, we do promotional products also, like Neil does, but we're primarily Mailbox Power. We don't have, per se, another business. So I find that when I talk to real estate agents, we don't have the authority as much as a real estate agent that tells them, like a Kelly Wheeler or a Jim McCord or a Steve Angeline, who's made millions of dollars using the system. It doesn't carry as much weight for Mike and I to talk about it because they think we're selling them. So that's the other reason why to build a network of affiliates or referral partners that you would, whether it's a referral fee you pay them or they come on as an affiliate, because they may be able to bring people in that you've been talking to for a long time, and you might be frustrated that then they come in and they get, if they're an affiliate, get the bigger chunk. But don't look at it that way. It's a win. They're now a customer on your team, whereas they weren't before. Do you want 0%? Or do you want the 10% if you're an affiliate? Any ideas, thoughts? I don't want to be the only one talking. Come on, share.
Well, just a thought based on what you're saying is you could sit down and think of, based on what you were saying earlier as well, as you move closer towards retirement, what if I could find 3 or 4 people like me? You could think of an insurance agent, a travel agent, anybody who you could really make successful in growing their business with our system, really, really successful, knowing that they've got a whole team of people that they could introduce this to and really focus on making them successful first, really increasing their business, and then get them on board as an affiliate. But think of, the various industries, insurance, in addition to real estate. I'm thinking travel. Who else has a team of people
mortgage,
Mortgage, yeah.
yep.
What I'm
Anybody- Auto, Lulu.
What I'm discovering is there are, especially in my BNI chapter, we have a lot of people in the trades, but they are franchisees, but of, like the painting guy, the roofing guy, if you can find somebody who, because they're all assigned to mentor other people, and they all kind of have a network and they share ideas and whatever. And that's what's starting to happen with me with some of these local franchisees. Yes, they're backed. Some of this collateral they have is backed by the parent company, but they're free to do their own farming and marketing and whatnot. So if you have people like that in your sphere, I would definitely consider them.
Exactly. I have a franchise and I now have 3 of the locations. Of course,
Right.
the same person owns all 3 locations, and I'm hoping that we get massive results that then everybody else is watching what this franchise or these franchise locations are doing, and how are you being so much more successful than everybody else? And then it starts to talk about it, because
Exactly.
the challenge with franchises, and I'll just put it out there because I've talked to many, is a lot of them, they're it's either franchisee or franchisor, I never get it right, but the corporate is very particular about what goes out, and they aren't given freedom to do the farming on their own and
Right.
pick a local company. But you have to find those that are willing to ask for forgiveness, not permission. The ones that are the go-getters and are like, I'll do what corporate says, but I'm going to do this too because it's my money and I'm going to spend more, and we'll do it. And when they get big results, trust me, I've had real estate agents very skeptical of this system and then become super successful. And everybody in the brokerage is like, what just happened? You went from struggling to like the top producer, and what are you doing different? And then everybody wants to know what it is. And that's when you get those group presentations. Josh.
Hey everybody, long time no see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in
Good to see you.
our early summer big heat here now. It's hitting, I can't think Fahrenheit anymore, but it's been in the 90s now and the humidity's coming with it. But yeah, it's nice. I took this picture last week. So, sorry I was late to the party here today, but I wanted to share something really cool. And the conversation often comes back around to, how do you approach, or, what do you do, or what do you say? And, the same old things. And the long and short of it is it's a long game, because it might even be that the person who's going to be a really great fit for Mailbox Power may not have the product or service that they're going to offer to utilize Mailbox Power yet. Can I share, Brenda? Is it available
Sure.
to me?
Oh, share screen.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So the reason I say that is quite some time ago, when Joe was still with Mailbox Power, I set up a call with Joe and Justin and another guy he's a software as a service data guy. And he was doing a lead generation software as a service for a while. He's in Wisconsin or Ohio or someplace in the Midwest. And he was looking at potentially Mailbox Power. I'd gotten connected with him somewhere through some group or something like that. And I think it was a funnel building group or something. And he was interested in it and potentially, using for generating leads, sending out cards or something like that. And then we even got on a call and we're going to do the API and the hookup and all that kind of stuff. And we were talking with his developer and all that, and it just kind of didn't work out. And what was interesting is, you're gonna see my screen here in a second, so it's gonna look weird because you're gonna see everybody. But what I want to show you is this. Whoops, sorry. Okay. Here, there we go. Does that look familiar?
Yep.
Does everybody recognize what that is? It's an automation map in Mailbox Power. So this guy, he kind of disappeared for a while, but I stayed in touch, and that's the point I want to make. You need to stay in touch and just say, how are you doing? Comment on their social media posts, stay connected. Hey, that's really great. Congratulations, whatever. Because about 2 weeks ago, this guy, and it's been 2 years, maybe. I have to look and see when he originally was kind of looking at it, but he reached out to me on Facebook Messenger, said, hey, are you still with Mailbox Power? Sure am. What's up? Well, I'm looking at doing something like this, and he wanted the API information. I said, sure, no problem. So I did that. I connected him with Justin right away because it's going to be a code and a back end thing, and so that happened. And lo and behold, this image that you're seeing is a Facebook post that guy posted. And what you can't see is the caption that he wrote on his Facebook post. And the caption on his Facebook post reads, you can now make a connection to send out postcards, etc., etc. I'll read exactly what it is because it's right here. You can now send identified visitors into a workflow to send postcards, etc. And this one is for a mug and a note card to go out. And what he's going to be doing, though, is setting up his customers to sign up for Mailbox Power to use the platform. So I've just opened a big gate, and he went up and signed up himself. So I had to go to the back and have it fixed up. So he got moved over to me because he actually created a new account. But the point is, you never know when it's going to be right. So patience and staying in touch is the key.
Yes. Awesome. Let's see.
Thanks. I'm stopping sharing.
Awesome.
So that was a big
Awesome.
one because he's
Yeah.
on board and where it goes.
Congratulations.
Right.
And that is what it's about. And I see that I've kept class after as usual. But I think this is important to talk about because I think so many of us are trying to spin our wheels. And some of you are most of you on this call are trying to build the Mailbox Power income, not just a self-funded marketing program. You're really looking to build it as a stream of income alongside whatever else you're doing. And it's okay to bring on other people that want to do the same because here's the deal. I'm running into people Friday, I ran into a title agent that wants to retire within 3 years. Title agents work with real estate agents and insurance agents all the time, and they talk about marketing all the time. So I talked to her, and her husband is a real estate agent. I'm like, if you want to retire in 2 or 3 years, you might want to think about doing this. Start building it now, and then you'll have a stream of income when you retire, because this is exactly how Mike retired early. Mailbox Power is why Mike was able to retire early. So think about that. Think about the people in your network, and remember, not everybody is going to say yes, and it's about sorting. And Steve Schultz, most of you know Steve Schultz, and we've heard him say it over and over again. It's about inviting people to the museum to take a look and sorting through. Today, not now, never, and putting them in buckets. And then those that are today, obviously get with them and help them get started. And those that are not now, what do we need to do? We need to follow up with them. Josh. Oh, yeah. We need to follow up with them. So,
Like I did.
Yeah, like you did. So with that, I hope you all have an awesome week. We will see you next Monday on the Mailbox Power Mastermind, and we look forward to hearing all of your wins next week from this week of business. So go out and have an awesome week, everyone.
Thank you.